Hey guys, Danny here with my anti-mecha deck, Fuse Zamafu, #1 leader, except mecha. But first off, shout out to Pat O'Neill for coming up with this sick deck. I played Zamafu with Fu and Joyful Strike before, but he came to my shop in Connecticut and just destroyed with Ultra Instinct. It's like a combo like no one else thought of. It's really sick, and I took that and I put my own spin on it to combat mecha, add yellow to it pretty much. First off, 4 objections. You obviously need these to just keep up with the really fast decks. It's pretty hard to win when you don't draw it. Played 3 Piccolos. 4 is really good, but I added yellow, so it's really hard to get the 3 blue sometimes, but it's still a really solid card, critical barrier. And the 4th Piccolo, the Final Destruction. This card was a test. Like, mostly it's good against veggies, because you just kill their Kabbas and Khalifas, but at the same time, it has double strike, and you don't really want to attack people much when you're playing Zamasu at all. Give them cards, so this is a consideration to take out probably. And then 1 Mafuba, because Mafuba's really good. I play the Yajirobe. It's either 2 Yajirobe or 2 Mafuba, but I really like one ofs, and they're good in a lot of matchups in general, but you can definitely change this out. And 4 Kibito Kais, super combo. Definitely think about putting boost attack instead, because giving them Shugesh is pretty bad, but it's super solid when they just combo one whatever card and you put it back. And of course, 4 Joyful Strike, but #1 card in the deck really. You can go into Fu. The name of the deck is Zamafu, and even if you don't even have to go into this sometimes, you could just play it at 6 and just play tons of threats at once. You don't even have to go into the combo. If they're stalling you, not hitting you at all, you can just cut yourself. And then, of course, Fu, #1 combo. You just win straight up when you play it sometimes. I've never, played it and haven't either won or lost pretty much right after. But the combo is just crazy with this deck. With your leader, you can just mill 10 with Joyful Strike and just play it right away. And yeah, it dropped down to 3 because you don't really need 4. You'll always charge 1 most of the time. And the 2 Haru against Mecha, obviously. Really hard to find room to put 4, but when you see it, it's great. It draws out their Cold Bloodlust, and you can just side it out when you don't play it. And 1 Scientist Fu. You definitely need this against hand destruction matchups. It's pretty much really hard to win if you don't get Scientist Fu. I probably want to play 2, but it's hard to find room. I sided another one. And the main combo that Pat O'Neill came up with, Ultra Instinct, Rapid Onslaught, Kind Saiyan. I have a 4th Ultra Instinct, but had to give it back. I was borrowing it. And yeah, this is one of the stylish kills in the whole game by far. You just Fu them. You play Ultra Instinct, you can return apes, of course, but sometimes you don't have to return anything. You can just play it and just let it sit there, and then you Fu. If they're at 5 life, you just hit them double strike down to 3, and then they can't negate, they can't combo. Ultra Instinct, they don't even awaken. That sounds like a crazy combo, but I consistently do it against people where they can't even play the game really. They just die. And for the yellow, 4 Youthful Bulma, cantrips. You don't really. I thought about playing Majin Buu as well, just to draw like crazy in the deck, but Kind Saiyan and Youthful Bulma is just 8. It's good enough. one perfect support and one pivotal defense. It's either play two of these, two perfect supports, or two pivotals, but the tournament I went to, I knew for sure there was going to be some veggies there, so I really wanted the perfect support. And this is just good against Mass Saiyan or aggro decks. It didn't do much because I didn't even play against Mass Saiyan, but it's definitely really solid for 2 energy, 20k blocker. And then I side another one. This card's pretty useless sometimes though. And 4 Flying Nimbus. There's no coercions in this deck, but you don't really need them. Like, coercion's really weak at sometimes. You just, like Flying Nimbus, you can negate like tons of attacks. With this deck, you're not killing many of their threats, so they build boards easily. So just Flying Nimbusing them is just, you can get an extra turn pretty much. Get another chance to live. And 2 Crusher Balls, super solid card this format, I think, with all the Overwhelm. And when you're playing apes, you can just Crusher Ball their march and they'll pass turn pretty much. And 2 Battering Lasers. The main point of playing the yellow, just stopping Cold Bloodlust. You have to wait till you go to 7 energy before you can, you know, foo them or go Joyful Strike, but it's either they just beat you, they Mecha Frieza and just beat you like nothing, or they let you live long enough that you can actually have a solid chance. But if not, you just get Cold Bloodlust and you lose. So that's the main deck. And the side deck, the second pivotal defense against Mass Saiyan. 1 Crusher Ball, more aggro. Mysterious Presence Banaka for Cell. Pretty much the main thing. You can play it against like Majin Buu too, but they can get barriers, so the main thing is just Cell. Yajirobe, the second and third one, it's a lot of people are like teching against it right now, but it's still a great card because you just play it by itself, and sometimes they'll burn like a card or two. They'll have to do something to it because it's just a wall. The second and third Mafuba, it's really solid against, it just straight up wins against certain decks, like the Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku with the Buu. They don't really do anything. You just Mafuba and they can't do anything. And then of course Mecha GT, this will stop them. Almighty Beam Fused, more Cell Hate, more decks that play cards that you can't kill with Piccolo, which is normally like 4 or 5 energy. Just one of. The 4th Piccolo and the 2nd Final Destruction. Piccolo's super solid, of course. So you want to go up 4, you take out the Final Destruction when you're not against veggies, or like decks that's like cover the board really fast, and then the Final Destruction for veggies. But like I said before, probably going to take this out. It's super hard to play for one when you're attacking into people, giving them cards. You never really want to do that as this deck because you're just stalling out till you win. 2nd Scientist Fu, Cell matchup, hand destruction. 2 Shuns. You take out the Harus and you put these in. Only against like really hard aggro matchups like Pan, Red SS3. And then Mass Saiyan, more veggies, hate. So that's the deck, and with the Zamafu, I was able to get 2 top 8s with in the ARG Easter event. Both events I went to, I got top 8. One was 3rd, and then the other one was just split. But super solid leader in this format, I think. Like, I'm probably gonna stick to this one, the whole format, because it's a super fast format, and you could just live when everyone's just trying to kill you. You'll just draw a bunch of cards. Really, you have to worry about critical, of course, but that's what all the stalling cards is for. And yeah, you can have easily 12 to 14 life every game that they can't deal with, really, and you'll just kill them. They're really not playing their game. You're just waiting there until you hit 6-7 energy and you just straight up kill them. And I've consistently beaten non-mecha decks with this. For one, like, a lot of people don't see it coming, they use Ultra Instinct out of nowhere and they just get blown out, and then just win with Fu. And I've definitely have a decent matchup against Mecha. Like, of course, they can just have their like ridiculous wins where they just awaken and march in like a turn or two, and you can't really do anything. But even then, sometimes you have a chance because you could just survive forever. And you Ultra Instinct, Battering Laser, you just bounce their whole board of like 8 apes or something. Veggies, the same thing. They just knock their whole board. And Battering Laser's not like even good still against like non-mecha Frieza decks because everyone runs in negates now. So you just if they're at 3, because everyone just hurts himself a lot. They're at 3. You just go in with the Ultra Instinct. You Battering Laser their negate, and they just die straight up. So. To my store in Connecticut, CNS Gaming Empire, #1. Thanks for watching.
Damn, no shout out for handing you all those L's.